Continuing with Arkansas, we have Landon. He will go right straight to questions. So who would like to open this up? Right here in the front row. Wait for the microphone.
Colton Sully, OU Daily. Landon, just wanted to ask you about the addition of OU and Texas to the conference. What are you looking forward to the most? And do you think those schools are ready for this juggernaut of the SEC?
I think they are. I mean, they've been dominating the Big 12 for years, and I mean it just brings rivalries to the SEC. For us personally, we got that OU Arkansas rivalry being on the border, and then I remember I wasn't here at the time whenever Arkansas played Texas, but I mean, talking to the players and the fans that were here, they stressed how big of a game that was. So I think that'll bring a big rivalry, and then you get that Texas A&M Texas rivalry again. So I think it brings in a lot more fun to the SEC. So I like that.
Left side, third row.
Yeah, Landon, Evan Camico, Pig Trail Nation. What's it like for you working with new defensive coordinator Travis Williams?
Oh, he's a great guy. I love him. I mean, every day we're going into meetings. He has a little DJ system set up in the meeting room, and he has everybody crunk before practice, and the energy just flows into practice. And I honestly think his energy alone brings so much to our defense. So I really like working with him.
Left side, second row.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and College Station. What do you remember from last year's game against A&M and just kind of the craziness, how that went down, and how much you looking forward to maybe, flipping the script this year?
I'm excited for that game, but just got to take it game by game, And that game we just got to finish, We got to play a better football game. So, I'm ready for it, but like I said before, just taking it week by week.
Right side, second row.
Hey, Landon, talking about Coach T. Will, have you ever heard some of his old music?
No, I actually have not.
Ask him to play it for you.
For sure, no, I will.
Okay, we'll stay on the second row.
Yeah, staying along those lines, not about T. Will's music, but KJ was just in here, and he was telling us about how much it meant to take care of the Auburn game after a couple of games that were real close but didn't go y'all's way. Is that a goal for this year? Well, first of all, what can you tell us about beating Auburn last year after losing a couple of heartbreakers earlier in your career to them? And also, does that game have more significance now that you got Travis Williams, who had a great career at Auburn?
No, that was a great win. Anytime you win a big game in the SEC, it's great. Every week's really tough competition. So, that was a really exciting game for sure.
Left side, back row.
Yeah, Clint Schweitzer from Starcade Media. Can you just talk about the rivalry with Missouri? Throughout your career, you've gone, I think, 1-1 and lost 2 against Missouri, and tough loss here this last November. So just kind of talk about that rivalry and what it means to the university.
It's a big game. There's a lot of rivalries in the SEC, but I feel like that's for sure one of our bigger ones, and I enjoy it. Any high intensity game, any trophy game, I really like a lot. So it brings energy to the game, and I feel like it makes me personally play better. So I like it.
Front row, please.
I'm Jason Pataki from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Landon, I kind of wanted to ask you about sort of facilities and NIL. Obviously, college landscape is changing almost every day. How important is it for you as an athlete to have the right facilities to work in? I know you've gained like 40 pounds this offseason, and get connected with the right brands at UA, and how have they kind of helped you with that as well?
It's great. Nowadays with recruiting and everything, you need those facilities, because a lot of that's all those recruits see. So I think it helps. Not having some of the extra stuff isn't really going to turn a player into some Greek god, but having them, it is beneficial.
Second row, left side.
Yeah, what's it like playing for Sam Pittman, and where do you feel like you guys are at? I know obviously had some momentum going and a little bit of a roadblock last year, but where do you feel like you guys are at, program building wise?
Well, first, I love playing for Sam Pittman. He's a genuine guy. What y'all see in the public, what y'all see at media days, stuff like that, is how he is to us. He's just an energetic, happy man. And, he's walking around all day at practice, just chopping it up with different players, making conversation. And he always has a smile on his face. And what was your second part of that question?
Just how do you feel like you guys are building the program?
I think we're really stressing all the small details. Last year, there was, I want to say it was 3 or 4 games that we lost by combined like 9 points. So those games where we're losing by 2 and 3, we got to be able to capitalize and win those games. And I feel like that will make us a much better team. And Coach Souders, he's our new strength coach, came from Louisville. He really stresses all the little details. For example, for our workouts, he stresses us to be there not 5 minutes early, but earlier than 5 minutes. So say the workout's at 3 p.m. If you're there at 2:55, you're on the Stairmaster, you're doing up, down, something like that. So it's literally just all the little details we're really trying to perfect right now, and I think he'll play into the season.
Right side, back row.
Landon, Corey LeBounty with WNSP. You've been selected as an ambassador for Arkansas. What does that mean to you personally, and how do you take this growth here at SEC Media Days and take it to the leadership factor on your team?
No, it's great. I mean, I'm just happy that my coaches kind of, I guess, view me as that, and I love leading my teammates. It's a blessing, really. So if you asked me 3 years ago, I would never expected to be in this position that I'm in today. But I mean, I plan on leading my teammates all throughout the season, being a positive leader, because those type of leaders are always the ones that I personally have kind of wanted to follow with. You know, like a guy like Bumper Pool last year. He's never being negative and cussing players out, this and that. He's like, come on, bro, like let's finish this workout, this and that. And I just like encouraging like that. And I'm gonna be the best leader I can be towards my D line, and not just my D line, but my whole defense this season.
Left side.
Landon, my head's still kind of spinning 7
Yeah.
months later from the Liberty Bowl game against Kansas, 3 overtimes,
Yeah.
55-53. Watching it kind of tired me out. So what was what was like playing in that game, and just it was...
Man, that game was exhausting. I want to say I had 80-something snaps that game, and before that, the most snaps I had in the game was against A&M with like 48-50. So, I mean, it was unreal. I had to play DN, D tackle, buck, stand-up linebacker. It was just all over, and it was long. So, I mean, right after that, I went home. We drove back home actually, and I went to bed.
Final 2 questions on the end and then in the front row.
Hey, Landon, Jacques Disse, WAFB in Baton Rouge. You started your career at LSU.
Yep.
Obviously, things have worked out. You're here. Just that journey and the last 2 games against them, both decided by a field goal. And it's been some very tight games with LSU.
Man, I love Baton Rouge. You know, I got recruited there by Coach Ed Orgeron, and it was a great year. I really loved the city, and I think it was a great town and a great college in general, but it just wasn't for me personally. Like, it just wasn't, I didn't feel at home really, and that's my biggest thing. I'm a big family man, and I just knew I needed to be closer to home. I needed to be somewhere where if times are getting tough, I got an uncle in Rogers. So if I had a bad week or something, I just want to see a familiar face, see some family, I can drive right up to Rogers and sit down and have a meal with him. So it's just stuff like that. I mean, I wanted I need to be closer to home, closer to family.
Final question.
When you sort of talk about OU and Texas joining the conference, how important is it from a recruiting perspective to have those top-notch facilities and obviously the right collectives? And from your experience, did that ever go into sort of your transfer from LSU?
I'd say it went into play for my, like with the whole facilities deal, I'd say it went into play more in my high school recruitment. And LSU had some gorgeous facilities. I mean, their lockers pull out into beds. And I wouldn't say that really sold me, but it's something I thought of, you know? And then whenever I was in the transfer portal, I more so looked into what staff is there, what type of guys are there, and how I'd fit in more with the defense and not as much the facilities at all. But I do think Texas and OU will play a major role in the SEC, and I'm excited to have them.
Thank you very much. Good job.
Thank y'all. Have a great day.